last few years, it seems like teams around the league have kind of figured him out. He's having to work a lot harder for his points, and they haven't been coming nearly as easily as they used to.
Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. Richardson and Harris filling out the wing. The incredible Simmons and Embiid down low. And it's Milton in at the point guard. And for the Bucks, the backcourt comprised of Bledsoe and Matthews. Middleton and Giannis are the forward tandem. And it's Lopez in at the center filling out the middle. And the officials calling for a 3-second violation. Giannis up to the Blue Dome, Bill, 3 seasons ago, passing Kareem for most triple-doubles in Bucks history.
The Bucks to get Kareem and Giannis even in a 40-year span is pretty great. Giannis has a chance to be like one of the best 30 players ever.
You're impressed. You really like him, don't you?
I think athletically he's unparalleled. It's really like the people I've seen in person, LeBron, Westbrook, Giannis, there's just certain guys that have a different level of athleticism that you're kind of like, these are humans, right? And he's one of those guys.
About 1 minute into the first quarter. Bledsoe looking it over. Bucks passing it around. Embiid with the steal. Richardson attacking. And again, Philadelphia turns it over. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons. And here's Giannis. He'll bring it up for the Bucks. Last time they met was right here, and they came out with the win.
And it was pretty much a cakewalk for them the last time these two squared off and had a clear advantage on the backboard.
We'll see if the other team will address that problem in this game, because last game, man, they just got smoked on the board.
And Bill, we've seen more and more teams base their offenses around three-point shooters. Threes are at an all-time high. You know that. Should the NBA, that in mind, do anything to address this via any rule change? Which I don't know what that would mean, but it has been talked about.
I don't like changing. I think it's going to manifest itself with it doesn't work in the playoffs as well. And teams are going to slowly realize like that you need to blend an inside-outside game at least a little bit.
You can't lose what the game is. No, it's bigs and tall, it's inside, it's outside.
And it's like passing and unselfishness. The Warriors take a lot of threes, but they're the most unselfish team we have. And they create a lot of layups and they play, they're really creative. That just can't be the thing is we shoot 53s, here's our offense. The problem is you're still going to get these games where 2 minutes really matters. That's what we saw Kawhi in the playoffs last year. These games slow down, it's going to be a 92 to 89 ending, and your team needs to get 10 baskets in the fourth quarter, no matter how you get them. You still need somebody who can do that.
Really, the right play defensively, if you can't block, force them to the line.
The first one falls. And good on the second, so it makes them both. And Bill, do you see the comparison that many people say between Ben Simmons and Magic Johnson?
I see one piece of it. He reminds me of Magic that he can get a rebound, his head's up immediately. He can either whip the ball 60 feet down if somebody is open, or he can just go down and run the fast break and nobody else has to touch him. And I think the list of guys who can get a rebound in traffic, go 90 feet, make the right decision, and get the ball to the right person, it's not a long list. We're talking like less than 10 guys ever. And I think that's what, when they say Ben Simmons and Magic Johnson, that's what really reminds them of Magic Johnson. I'm just here to remind people that Magic Johnson was one of the 5 best players of all time. And it's kind of dumb to really compare anyone to Magic Johnson. We're never going to see that again. But I think Ben has little pieces of it.
Shot by Milton, no good.
Yeah, that miss might stick with him for a little while. That's kind of a shoot-around jumper if I've ever seen one.
Giannis against Simmons. Middleton, good, and the assist goes to Giannis. Antetokounmpo's got 3 assists in the game. And Philadelphia decides to take their first timeout right here. A platoon swap here for Milwaukee. What a surge it's been for the Bucks at the top of the Eastern Conference last year. 60 wins. The most since 1981.
Right, and much like those teams from the 80s, they fell short in the end. And that's been the rub with the Bucks is You look back at so many years in a row, so close, couldn't do it. And then this last year against Toronto, they win the first two. Game 3's double OT. And then all of a sudden, a week later, their season's over. So they've never quite been able to get over the hump since the days of USC.
The nice thing is, though, this team is making the mandatory steps it seems that all these teams eventually have to make to get to where they want to go.
Right. They're trying to keep the team together that they succeeded with last year. Sometimes when you have success, you think that you should keep that success together, and that can be dangerous because really I felt like that team underachieved. They lost to a Toronto team that they had just performed better than during the season. So what's that last piece that you need? And I guess the last piece for Milwaukee now is King Giannis. We haven't seen it.
The 76ers shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game.
They've been ordinary on the season as well, just about 75% from the line.
That free throw good from Korkmaz. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And Bill, over a quarter of today's NBA players were born in a country other than the United States. The 12 is that broad all over the globe.
And Giannis was born on another planet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what planet was it Earth. I think he just got dropped from some satellite. Yeah, this all starts with...
I love it too, don't you? I love the fact we've got players from Latvia and Greece and
what's cool about it is they all kind of have distinct identities and quirks, and one of the things that makes somebody like Doncic so much fun to watch is he's not like anybody else. Like, he's close to James Harden, but he's also that step back three that he was taking that he's been making his whole life. Other than Harden, nobody was even really shooting it that way, and I think there's an unselfishness with the European guys that is really useful for the way the American style.
100% agree.
They really, guys move without the ball, get and go. It's not just like clear out on up.
Yeah. Philadelphia has gone 0-2 from deep here. Burks kicks to Horford. Pass to Korkmaz. Takes the three. It's deflected, and they get it back. Scott the pass to Horford. Here's Korkmaz. 5 on the clock. Tries again. They grab their own miss.
And the space Lopez is able to cover on defense, using that size and length to reject the shots.
Here's Burks. And finally, that one's good. 8 seconds left to play here in the first. Hill drives in. It could go. And the last second attempt doesn't fall. 1 quarter in the books. And it's been a close one so far. A native of Cameroon, Joel Embiid talks about...
not knowing English, I'll be sorry.
And that unique sense of humor, Greg, is a specialty of Embiid.
He's a fun-loving guy who's become a must-follow on social media. And the transition he's made has been remarkable.
And getting going again here in the second quarter. Fairly close game so far. And guys, what's your take so far in Philadelphia?
Throughout that first, they just were aggressive on the defensive end, showing active hands.
Well, they really made a lot of good quality reads down there. Took some chances, but feeling more calculated than risky.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So on the floor for Philadelphia, we've got Alec Burks. Scott is out there with Korkmaz. Then there's Horford. And it's Bible in at the 2. Let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Chris...
Folks, the coach's challenge has been initiated for a personal foul. Most game like this, he thought it wasn't a good
That
call.
joint's stupid because I didn't touch the man, bro.
And I think when it comes to some of the more difficult calls to make, personal fouls can the action is so fast that it's really tough to catch.
The call stands. I only do nothing but lose a timeout. I don't care about that.
Used so effectively and involving the coaches by being able to. A challenge like this is something a lot of people have been hoping for. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands as it was made on the floor.
And even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you gotta acknowledge the effort.
Yo, you pushed me. Thank you.
To review it, double check it, and the game continues on.
And some changes here for the 76ers. Embiid, he's checked in for Mike Scott. Harris comes in for Korkmaz. And Josh Richardson subbed in for Burks. When you look at Joel Embiid, enormous talent, you've talked about him a lot. How does Bill compare to some of the great centers? This is a very short sample with these two.
Yeah.
But how does he compare, you think, to some of the great centers you've seen and what about?
Talent-wise, he's up there. Durability-wise, he's also up there in the Yao Ming category of guys that I'm just not sure that they're still.
You kind of hold your breath. Is he too great? Is he too great?
I don't like some of the decisions he makes. I think he shoots too many threes. The big thing for him is conditioning. And until he takes that seriously, he's just going to have a ceiling on his career. I think if you go back and you look at the tapes of him in Kansas, and he looks like a young Kevin Garnett. I mean, he's 50 years later.
His body's completely different.
Completely different.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just carrying a lot of weight. And I felt like during the Celtics series 2 years ago, I thought he wore down at the end of those games. So he's got to figure that out because that's the thing that's holding him back.
Tries it from 9. Offensive rebound. Here's Embiid.
Get out of here, man. Put Giannis back in the game.
For Philadelphia, they have been solid at the line so far. 4 for 4. First free throw is good. A different look for Milwaukee. Lopez, he's checked in for Lopez. Antetokounmpo comes in for Marvin Williams. And Wesley Matthews subbed in for Kyle Korver. Shake Milton, he's checked in for Philadelphia. Billy O's your own podcast. I've listened to it. I subscribe to it. I love it. What do you make of some of the NBA players now doing the same thing?
And we have a couple of them. At the Ringer, we have J.J. Redick, and we have Vince Carter and Ken Bazemore. The ones that are good at it take it seriously. It can't be one of those things where, a player says, you know what, I want a podcast, and then it just magically happens. And you got to work on it. You have to use your connections and book your guests, and you have to.
How, bro?
You can't just show up and just babble. And the guys that have been successful at it are people that could probably have a media career for a living. And JJ is clearly going to go to media after he retires. Richie Jefferson, a great podcast. He's won in media. He's really good.
Yes.
So I think you need a little more talent than people realize. And you need the consistency of it. You can't say, I'm starting a podcast and then not do it for 2 months. Like, you have to really stick to it.
The improvement we saw during Giannis Antetokounmpo's first few years in the league went from raw to ridiculous in a hurry.
And they have built their advantage on the scoreboard here by doing all the little things.
Timeout called the Bucks. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston. Now a chance to check out the top NBA block leaders. Brook Lopez is second.
There aren't going to be many nights when you don't see him affect the game with his shot blocking ability.
And the 76ers call time here. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time to some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Out of bounds, Philadelphia's next possession.
And a moment now to check out some of the numbers for Chris Middleton. Averaging 21 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. And you look at the numbers he's been putting up, fantastic scoring production from him.
Yeah, hard to ask for anything more at this point. He's really stepped up, and he's really delivered.
Bucks trail by 8. Ben Simmons has a very versatile game, there's no doubt, except that his shooting is something
Ben Simmons is not outboxing
that's probably going to
Giannis.
determine how great he can become in this league.
Yeah, and maybe what position he ends up playing too, because you could argue maybe you just play him at point center and you put him as somebody else who can stretch the floor and maybe protect the rim a little bit, but I think the thing with Ben is he looks so much better during the regular season because the pace is different. But as you know, in the playoffs, it slows down. And I don't see any roadmap for him being a superstar. He doesn't figure this out. I still feel like athletically, he's way, way up there. And it's just going to come down to, can he go to the next level as somebody who's really never won anything? You know, you think like he's been in round 2 and that's it in 2 straight playoffs, and in both round 2s didn't play well. I think winning is a skill, and competing at a certain level is a skill. And I'm not sure we've seen that from him enough yet.
Still. And Middleton with the block.
Well, the long arms of Middleton getting up there on defense and throwing that one away.
Lopez finds Giannis. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
And working Kevin themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
Well, it's interesting to watch him because he's putting his body on the line to get to the line. We didn't see this during the first quarter, but he's making up for it here.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Lopez. Ante DiVincenzo comes in for Chris Middleton. And George Hill's subbed in for Eric Bledsoe. And a special thanks to our guest, Bill Simmons. Always a compelling discussion, and I hope we can continue.
Yes, please. I'm available. Just call me. I'm ready.
All right. There's your number right here.
Yes, you have my number. Call me.
You know, Brent, it's a different kind of broadcast with Bill Simmons like that. He lets it rip.
Well, the thing about Bill is he's not going to hold back. He has some great, strong opinions, and he backs it up with a lot of facts due to the fact that he knows the history of the game quite well.
Pat Connaughton, he's checked in for Wesley Matthews. Works against Hill, deflects the pass. The pass to Antetokounmpo. And Giannis throws it down.
I'd like to see George Hill distribute to his teammates a heads-up play there.
There's 47 seconds left here in the second. Burks, the pass to Scott. Back to Burks. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call. Williams, he's checked in for Antetokounmpo. Bucks trail by 8. Hill left side. The kick out to Ilyasova. It's back to Hill. The shot comes out, and it's Philadelphia the other way. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. Next up will be a home game matchup against the Pacers to start a 3-game homestand with that game. Here's Burks. Off target at the rim.
That's not going to make you a favorite target of your teammates. They'll think twice about feeding you, but they're going to keep missing layups.
They're still possessing the athleticism. Williams is sensational at finding ways to throw it down.
And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers. This game has been everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much all throughout that first half. And he was taking care of his business on the low blocks and getting more than his fair share of them.
Yeah, there's not any guy defensively that was bodying him up or contesting the shot. So right now he's feasting.
Middleton and Giannis are the forward tandem. The backcourt comprised of Bledsoe and Matthews. And it's Lopez in at the center position. They're the group for Mike Budenholzer starting the second half. Well, he coined the name himself last season. Brent, are you willing to call Brook Lopez Splash Mountain?
I am, but I think Brook Lopez was also looking for some kind of deal so that him and his brother could get free rides for the rest of their lives.
Giannis dishes to Middleton. Back to Antetokounmpo.
I would love to see Giannis in the dunk contest. Wouldn't that be sweet, Kevin?
It wasn't too long ago, Brett, we were wondering what Giannis could do if he bulked up. Well, we don't have to wonder anymore.
I don't think we need to wonder about an MVP in the league. The curious thing, Kevin, was last year after winning that award, Giannis coming out and talking about he's only at 60% of his potential. Can you imagine what's coming down the line if he realizes that the other 40? He's something else.
Well, that's true. For the lead, doesn't go for it. Some solid defense from Harris. Here's Simmons. Antetokounmpo Antetokounmpo pulls it in.
Not been an easy start. 3 straight misses here on these possessions.
Lopez with the ball. Now defended by Embiid. Bledsoe kicks to Giannis. And that won't go.
What the fuck is that?
Here's Milton. Simmons trying to get open. Milton's shot is good. Milton's got 6.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the third.
And it's blocked by Simmons.
How about the balance and body control? Simmons able to sit back and pack it up.
And he banks in the lane. Now it's a 5-point 76ers lead.
Now, he's too good a finisher to blow that kind of chance, but that's going to be a wake-up call to the defense.
And the call will be against Harris. That is his first foul of the game. Robin Lopez is checked in for Milwaukee. Korver comes in for Wesley Matthews. From 8. He's now made after those 10 shots in the game. That's his 5th basket.
Giannis has the hard hat on right now, going to work. So good, so long, just terrorizing the D.
And Simmons slams it in.
And that kind of sums up how this game is going.
Attack-minded all the way.
Yeah, great read, calls his own number, and then sends it home.
Oh, just solid on the one-handed slam.
And guys, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball. And Philadelphia calls time here. Brent, for so long we've talked about the potential of what Giannis can do when he reaches his prime. 27 and 13 last year is a pretty good jumping off point.
Winning an MVP award for Giannis at 24 years of age, and knowing that most of the prime years for NBA players are starting to happen between 27 and 30. That's a scary thought, isn't it, Kevin? 4 or 5 years more of growth from Giannis Antetokounmpo and what he can do at that position. If that jump shot comes along, we may be seeing an all-time great develop throughout his career in the next decade.
Here's Simmons. And slammed out by Harris.
And that's what Simmons does. His vision and accuracy make him a premier presence on the floor.
Outside Antetokounmpo. Middleton on the wing. Wide open. Good. And Giannis picking up the assist. Giannis has got 5 assists tonight. Simmons inside. Giannis is there. Simmons. Antetokounmpo pulls it in. Giannis has got his 8th rebound here tonight. Middleton the pass to Giannis.
Middleton right now staying aware of where his teammates are and hitting them when they're open.
To the inside. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. And after he missed the first 2 seasons of his career, Greg, with a broken bone in his foot, would injuries be your main concern for Joel Embiid?
Look, no doubt about it. As long as he's healthy, he's an all-league performer. Still, 7-footers carry a lot of weight in our league. He wants to prove he can play big minutes. They just got to make sure they protect him.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Lopez. Pat Connaughton comes in for Chris Middleton. Dante DiVincenzo, he's checked in for Kyle Korver. And George Hills subbed in for Eric Bledsoe. And Antetokounmpo. And Giannis throws it down.
Giannis bringing it down, using that sensational length to get that finish.
Ball's knocked loose. And Simmons kicks to Richardson. Back to Simmons. Passes it to Richardson. Just 5 to shoot. The 76ers with another miss. And so Antetokounmpo will bring it up for the Bucks. They trail by 3. No good.
Get out of here!
Oh, man, you know he'd love to have that one over.
Pass to Richardson. Here's the break. DiVincenzo gets the bucket.
Great floor awareness as Antetokounmpo has a sense for when the D has overcommitted or shifted his way, and then he finds where his teammate is open on the floor.
And Simmons gets the hook. And stolen by Ilyasova. Here's Giannis. On his 15th shot attempt, he makes his 9th basket. Shooting a healthy 60% tonight.
Oh, great ball movement there.
76ers have gone just a bit under 50% from the field since halftime. 5 out of 11. By 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And the dunk by Embiid.
And they got to bring the double team on.
Marvin Williams is checked in for Milwaukee. The 76ers have been at their finest 4 at the free throw line tonight. 8 attempts, 8 makes. We've got 22 seconds left here in the third quarter. Here's DiVincenzo, and he dunks it down.
And he's stroking it well, but he just hasn't shown the aggressiveness that they need out of him. Probably in front by more when he was taking the shot.
Stolen away, and it's the Bucks on the break. And Embiid with the block. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's feeling it tonight and has been the driving force for Milwaukee. And it's time to bring out the State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with his speed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
That's what great passing will do for you right there, dissecting the defense with that play.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. So on the floor for Philadelphia, Court Bonds is out there with Mike Scott. Then there's Alec Burks. Then there's Horford. And it's Thibault in the shooting guard. And the shooting guard, Wesley Matthews, a terrific defender who has no hesitation in taking that long three.
A pretty good combination. Whether an Achilles tear back in 2015, but has remained a steady rotation player.
Lays it up off the glass. Burks has got it all tied up now for the 76ers. The Bucks shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. DiVincenzo passes to Lopez. The shot will not fall. Good work defensively by Horford. Works against Hill. Scott and finished off by Scott.
Oh, going high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam. Lopez left side. And we're going to have a jumper.
Come on, man. You didn't even give me a chance to call a timeout.
Milwaukee with the ball. Out to the wing. Here's DiVincenzo. Good, and Hill picking up the assist. Hill's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. And Philadelphia calls Tutso is subbed in for George Hill. And then for Philadelphia, Embiid, he's checked in for Mike Scott. And it's Shake Milton in for Burks. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, over that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Brett Brown said to his team. With this game in the balance, he really came after his guys. He said, this is our time. Right now, be in the moment with each other. Do your job.
Come on!
And that might have got them into trouble last year. They can maybe use another creator in a way where a guy can manufacture his own points. Who knows? Maybe that's growth within. Maybe that's Chris Middleton as he tries to improve his game, or Eric Bledsoe in some way. But the team does need a little bit more dynamism on the offensive end.
And they pick up 2.
Man, that's about the worst defense I can imagine a team playing coming down the stretch.
Well, I hope there's one player on that team out there that has interest in winning this game. Right now, it doesn't look to be one.
Here's Milton. Guarded by Bledsoe. Here's Horford. Lopez with the block.
That's out of it. Not a high riser, but Lopez using his frame, a smart block, if you will.
Williams hits the bucket.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
The 76ers have gone just 33% from the field in the fourth quarter so far. They are 2 of 6. Horford the pass to Milton. And he's way off from outside. And there's the call on Joel Embiid. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Milwaukee in the lead. Bledsoe left side. Down low. And Williams with the basket on the assist from Eric Bledsoe. And that's now 10 points for Williams.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
That's to Thibault. There's Milton. He's covered by Matthews. Milton, no good.
Maybe there are ways to contribute that don't involve shooting the basketball. That's the best way. And maybe he can help them out trying to win this game.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Here's Embiid. Williams with the block. And he gets it back. And that one, good. Timeout called the Bucks.
What you doing?
Now we got a moment for our Jordan Player of the Game, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And guys, he's just played angry tonight. I mean, he's taken that anger out on the rim with one throwdown after another. They have not been able to stop him from getting to the rim.
Giannis, he's checked in for Milwaukee. Whistle blows, bucket is good. He'll have a chance at the line to make it a three-point play. And that sends Eric Bledsoe to the free throw line. That one on Harris. The free throw drops for Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe bounced around a little bit in the early part of his career under the tutelage of Chris Paul when he first came into the league. Seems like he's found a home here and very much settling into his role.
There's Embiid. And two free throws coming up on
Lopez! What are you doing?
That's on Brook Lopez. And he can't get the first one. And he's good on the second. Bucks leading by 7. They double team Bledsoe. Lopez outside from past the arc. The offensive rebound. Here's Giannis. And the slam dunk by Antetokounmpo.
That reach is just ridiculous. Giannis easily beating everybody to the ball and then sends it back.
And they double up Simmons. And oh boy, a lot of contact with him, but he gets the call and will shoot two. He doesn't hit the first, and that plays the one they really want. He's got one more though.
2018 Rookie of the Year. Simmons' NBA career got off to a great start, and he's only continued to improve.
And the jam by Bledsoe.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Well, just seeking out weaknesses in the defense and then exploiting it.
And the jam by Bledsoe.
Wow, the energy from Bledsoe in this one, excelling at turning on the jets and getting to the basket.
Richardson outside. It's Randall to Kubo. Here's Bledsoe. Good, and the assist goes to Middleton. And that's now 11 points for Eric Bledsoe.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for Milwaukee.
Look at their number 6. You know, they didn't get stuck in those one-on-one situations, and they got the ball to the guys with the best matchups. Easy drives, open jumpers, and great ball movement.
And the win-loss column tonight's game will push their record up to 54 wins on the year. And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest.
Yo, Lopez, you about to get fouled out, my guy.
That's amazing defense from him. Seem to know exactly when to pounce on the passing lanes and predictive steals.
Well, what's not to like about Joel Embiid? A physical specimen at over 7 feet tall, all the skill in the world, and a personality made for starting.
Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this
Focus, focus, focus. Just make the simple play.
Well, he's a capable shooter, but I like the initiative there from Tobias, taking it inside, forcing the defense back, and drawing contact.
They took my starters out.
Drops them both. 32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. To the middle, here's Ilyasova, and he comes up with the deuce.
Impressive job by the players, coaches, and don't discount the impact of these fans.
Awesome to see their output tonight, trying to urge their team on, and that can always help. That home advantage of home fans getting you going, fully on display here.
And there's a whistle. That goes on Meta. That is his first foul of the game. Knocked away. Burks with the steal. Here's Korkmaz. They get it back. So no problem for Milwaukee as they get the lead. Even on this one, it seemed like they were happy to play at home tonight.
I don't know what.
So once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like
fourth quarter just.
they had any.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks.
Right? This man had a double-double.